Peace. Ali, coming back at you on behalf of SAliMyers.com. Alright, in this video, I want to share some information, some things that you can do if you live in a quote-unquote haunted house, or if you have a house that there's a lot of spiritual activity, mainly ghosts. Now, this is different than having like a poltergeist, or you require an exorcism. This video is not if you have a demon or a very negative force that's permeating throughout your crib. This information probably is not going to work for you. You need to get with someone who's qualified with dealing with removing demons. If you know someone, or if you know someone who knows someone, then you might want to holler at them. But if you just have regular ghosts and you hear bumps in the nights and you're feeling like something's in a room when you're getting dressed or something like that, like, then more than likely you have a quote-unquote haunted house, or you have a house with a lot of spiritual activity. So I want to give you a few things that you can do in order to kind of like reduce the activity in your crib. Because here's the thing, most houses have ghosts in them. Most houses have ghosts in them. Now, there's a difference between having a ghost and then having a troublesome ghost. So if you have a troublesome ghost, this video is going to help you out tremendously. First thing that I recommend that you do is start to talk to the ghosts as if they're regular people. A lot of times, I want to say probably about 50% of the time, if you just speak to them and put down ground rules, if you would, or say some sort of barriers in your crib. So for instance, if you have a ghost that may be bumping in the night or something like that, or you feel like you're being watched all the time, just simply talk to them. Say, hey, do not invade my space. You are not allowed to be in the room when I'm getting dressed or making love. You don't scare me. Don't interrupt my sleep. Just all the things that you feel like that ghost is doing, tell them to do the opposite. So just speak to them directly. And this isn't like a mean, point your finger like you need to do that. But you want to say it with a level of confidence and certainty. Because ghosts, believe it or not, are just regular people that are in the regular world but don't have a regular body. So if you speak to them and tell them, hey, you're dead, you're not living anymore, you're scaring me, stop bumping in the night, don't wake up my children, just speak to them. You know, for the most part, every house I've stayed in had spiritual activity or ghosts, paranormal activity. You know, so in my youngest son, he was bothered a lot with waking up, ghosts waking him up, and to the point where I even seen him wake up in the middle of the night and pointing in the air, looking at something that I visibly couldn't see, but obviously he could see. So my point is, all I did was talk to him. Like, hey, don't wake up my child, don't scare my child, and the energy subsided. So I know this technique works, but you have to say it with a level of certainty. Too many times we feel foolish by talking in the air or whatever, like you don't want to seem crazy. So do it by yourself. But I'm telling you, this is a very effective technique to do. Another thing that and this is a lifestyle thing, because ghosts resonate with humans that they find an interest in. So say that a ghost had a drinking problem, and say you're a heavy drinker. Well, that ghost is going to have an attraction to you because you're doing something that they were doing when they were living, and they still have that desire. So if you have a lot of vices or a lot of activity where you know in your heart that that's not right for you, more than likely you need to start curbing the appetite. If you're drinking, smoking, doing drugs, cursing a lot, having a lot of felonious sexual activity, like you're married but you got mistresses and stuff like that, you're lying a lot, cheating, stealing, killing, like all that stuff or whatever, you know what's in your heart may not be right for you, then that is going to attract ghosts to you as well. So that's a lifestyle choice that you have to make. So I recommend that you get with a counselor, get with a spiritual guide, get with a psychologist, get with somebody, or do something in order to reduce whatever vice or whatever activity you have that may not be in alignment with your highest purpose. So that's something else you want to do, is reduce the negative activity that you have in your life. A couple products that you can get, and these are things that you don't have to do anything except play it or put it in the house. One of the products, and both of them are on Tybro.com, Tybro.com. One of the products that you can get is what's called the spirit attachment removal. If you go into audio downloads in Tybro, it's a thing called the spirit attachment removal. It is a very, very negative sound. You do not want to listen to this sound. But if you have a room in your house or a couple rooms, take that audio, play it in the room as loud as you can. Get out of the room. What that sound does, it puts out a broadcast that is not comfortable for not only humans but for ghosts as well. So if you have like a room in a crib, a couple rooms, play that audio continuously as much as you can and play it periodically in the room. It's like giving your house a cleansing or whatever. And the audio is like $20 or less or whatever. So that's something that you can get and play, and it'll reduce the activity. Probably the most powerful thing you can get on Tybro.com for haunted houses, if you would, is get what's called the Michael Demiurgos Medallion. If you go into medallions, click on Michael Demiurgos Medallion. That medallion is an energy that revokes negative things from coming into your space. So this medallion is something you can wear. But I'm making this video specifically for people dealing with paranormal activity in a crib. So I recommend that you take that medallion, put it in the room or location that you feel like the activity is the most active. And that's going to reduce the activity as well. A lot of people like to get sage and burn that. I think that's a good technique as far as a cheap something you can do. But the science with sage is once the smoke is clear, the ghost can reappear. If you look at the Native Americans and the cultures that did smudging, they smudge continuously. So if you have a smudge, like a smudge pot, you can go to l9shop.com, el9shop.com. We have cauldrons and we also have sage clusters. Now if you want a cheap way that you can deal with it, start to smoke the sage out as much as you can. So you don't have to continuously do this. Because like I said, once the smoke is clear, the paranormal activity may return. So you want to continuously burn sage. So that's something else you can do. So laid out probably about 5 or 6 things that you can do if you're dealing with paranormal activity. But I highly suggest that you start with the first thing that I said. Talk to the ghosts as if they're regular people. The way I look at it is like, look at ghosts like children. And with children, you have to tell them what to do. You have to instruct them. So look at the ghosts in your house as children, because more than likely they're not going to leave on their own will, especially if they've been earthbound for hundreds of years. You burning sage or you telling them to go may not be effective. But if you set ground rules and tell them, don't scare me, don't do this, don't do that, more than likely, I would say probably about 50% of the time, they'll follow your directions. So this has been Ali. Hopefully this video has helped people that's dealing with paranormal activity in a crib. If you want to find out more information about myself and what we do, be sure to visit my website, salimyers.com. If you need metaphysical supplies, be sure to look at our metaphysical superstore, l9shop.com, for all your metaphysical needs. Until next time, this has been Ali. Peace.